Hello everybody, welcome back to Modern Meta Matchups. And after a bit of a hiatus, especially because the modern format wasn't really the best if we're being honest.
Not really.
We had quite a bit of bannings that happened not too long ago, and we're going to be playing some decks that have existed in the format for quite some time. What are you going to be playing today, JC?
I'm going to be playing a classic Mono Green Tron with the Karn the Great Creator package.
Sounds good. And I today will be piloting the 5-color humans deck that have been around for a couple of years now.
Yep.
And obviously there's some changes here and there. Humans are printed in pretty much every set, so there's always some new addition that might have potential to see play. Again, if you like our videos, please be sure to give us a subscription, hit that like button, leave a comment, let us know how we're doing, if there's anything that you want to see in the future. We love to hear from you guys, and we'll go ahead and see you guys in the gameplay.
Let's do it.
Alright, welcome to the gameplay. JC has won the die roll off camera, so I believe he'll be taking the play.
I will be.
Alright, we'll go ahead and deal out our 7, see what's going on.
Well, this one started so strong but finished so weak. I'm going to have to mulligan this.
I like what I see here. I think I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay. Alright, so I'm going to be down to 6 here, but let's see if this is keepable.
Hopefully it's not too good.
Yeah, this is very keepable. I'm going to put this one on the bottom. All right, so this 6 is a lot better than the 7. I have 2 different Tron lands plus an expedition map, so I can go get the third one. I've got Karn Liberated to play on turn 3, so that should be good. I've got an Oblivion Stone for wiping the board, which is going to be useful in this matchup. And then I've got an Ancient Stirrings to maybe find some other threat later that will actually kill Austin. Unfortunately, I did have to put a Sylvan Scrying on the bottom, but because I don't have any green sources at the moment, and because I do have the map, I'm not that worried about it.
All right, so going into game 1 here, I do have a few lands here, which are going to let me cast every single card in my opening hand and everything in my deck. I have a basic plains, a basic island, and an ancient ziggurat, which allows me to get whatever other color I might need. To actually cast some spells, or what my spells are, I have a Champion of the Parish, which I can play on the very first turn, which will hopefully get bigger and bigger and just get in for massive amounts of damage. I also have 2 Meddling Mages, which are going to be very good interaction here to hopefully shut off some of the key pieces and kind of cut what it is that he can actually play against me. And then I have a Mantis Rider, which is going to be able to get in for some quick damage, continue to make that Champion of the Parish a little bit bigger maybe, and just get in for some quick 3 flying hasty damage.
All right, I'm going to lead us off with a Urza's Power Plant, and I'm going to immediately tap it for this expedition map.
All right.
And I'll pass the turn.
Sounds good. I'll play a basic plains, and with that comes the Champion of the Parish.
Yeah.
And after that, I am all set. It's your go.
All right, I'll untap, draw a card. I'll play an Urza's Tower.
All right.
And I will go ahead and pass.
All right, so you've got Tron for next turn. So I need to do something here. I'll just play a basic island. I will play Meddling Mage.
Okay.
As it enters the battlefield, or comes into play, I will name Karn Liberated.
Okay. He's just played a Meddling Mage and named Karn Liberated. Unfortunately, Karn is the only threat in my hand at this moment. So I'm going to have to go to plan B of playing this Oblivion Stone and trying to clear out that Meddling Mage before I do anything else to progress the game.
Because Meddling Mage is a human, I get to put a counter on my Champion of the Parish.
Yep.
And I will go to combat.
Yep.
Attack for 2.
I have no blockers, so I will take 2 and go to 18.
All right. And after that, I will pass the turn.
On your end step, I will sacrifice the expedition map to go get the last Tron piece. Urza's mine.
Sounds good.
All right. I'll untap. I'll draw for the turn. I will play Urza's Mine.
Yep.
I'm going to tap my Urza's Tower for 3 colorless mana. One of it is going to be to play an expedition map, and 2 are going to be to immediately sack the map to go get a land.
Which land are we grabbing?
I'm thinking I'm going to grab Blast Zone here.
Okay.
So after I've gotten the Blast Zone, I'm going to tap for 4 and play an Oblivion Stone for 3 mana.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pass the turn.
Oh, that's kind of scary as well. 2 things that can make my life sad. So in a situation like this, I think I just throw down my Ancient Ziggurat and try to get in for as much damage before everything goes too far south.
Fair enough.
By playing a Mantis Rider.
There it is. Okay. Yep.
Which, because it's a human, I will also get another counter on my Champion of the Parish. We'll go to combat and attack for 3, 5, and 8.
Well, I guess I'm taking 8 here. I go to 10.
And I have no mana, so I will pass.
Okay.
I'm not running a cheeky gut shot.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. Well, I will spend 2 mana.
Yep.
1 of it to play this Chromatic Star.
Okay.
1 to sack it for a green mana and draw a card.
All right. So we've got green mana floating.
And here's the Ancient Stirrings.
Yep, that happens.
All right.
What are we going to find?
Hopefully something good. That's good. I like All Is Dust.
I don't. Well, if you don't have a Tron piece, you won't be able to play it this turn at least.
This is true. So I'll put this in my hand and this in my graveyard. I'm going to play that Blast Zone that we know about, and it comes with a counter.
Yep.
And I will just pass the turn.
All right. I'll untap and draw. Let's start things off by going to combat because I think we can all see what's going on here. Attempt to attack with everything.
Seeing as I no longer wish to take 8, I would like to pay 5 and activate Oblivion Stone to destroy all the non-land permanents that don't have fate counters.
Unfortunately, none of my stuff has any fate counters on it, so my stuff will all die. Alright, so second main phase, I'll start off by playing Horizon Canopy.
Okay.
I will then pay 2 mana for another Meddling Mage. This time, I know you have that All Is Dust in your hand, so I'm definitely going to want to name that here.
Fair enough.
And then with my last 2 mana, I'll have to pay a life to use my Horizon Canopy for mana, and I will play Thalia's Lieutenant, which when it enters, I get to put a 1/1 counter on all of my humans. And Meddling Mage happens to be a human. I know. It's pretty
Shocker.
crazy. In my human deck, I'm playing humans. But that's all I have, so I will pass the turn afterwards.
Alrighty. I'm going to untap and draw for the turn. I'm going to...
Don't play Ugin.
Yeah, no. Well, I would love to, but what I am going to do, though, is I am going to play this Oblivion Stone.
Another Oblivion Stone. That's not good for me.
I'm also going to play a forest as my land for the turn.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to pass.
So, another board wipe that's different than the one that I named, the All Is Dust? Why does he... another Oblivion Stone. The second one of the game. Plus the All Is Dust that I know about that I named. I'm toast. I'm not going to have a easy way out of this one. Alright. Untap. Draw. Seeing as there's an Oblivion Stone in play and more than enough mana to activate, I will go to combat and attempt to attack for a mighty 4 damage.
I choose to use this opportunity to activate the Oblivion Stone and once again destroy all the stuff.
My stuff dies yet again. The Oblivion Stone has thwarted me. I will play a land for the turn. I will then pay 1 and sacrifice my Horizon Canopy to draw a card. Not the worst card I've ever seen, but it doesn't do a whole lot. I'll play Thalia, Guardian of Thraben here.
I don't love it, but I accept it.
And with that, I will pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap and draw. Okay, well, I am going to have to pay a premium on this, but I will pay 8 for Karn Liberated.
You got it.
Karn will immediately go down to 3 and get rid of Thalia.
Thalia gets exiled.
I will play a forest, and I will say go.
All right. So we know that you have an All Is Dust in hand, and you have 2 cards.
I have 2 cards.
All Is Dust and some other card. Well, Karn's kind of an issue, so I think paying 3 mana, putting out a Mantis Rider.
That seems good.
Going to combat and hitting the Karn sounds like a good plan here.
Goodbye, Karn. It was nice knowing you.
And then, second main phase, we'll put down an Aether Vial, something that doesn't die to All Is Dust.
This is true. This is true.
And a little bit late here to really do much, but I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I'll untap and draw. Interesting. I will...
Well, you do have Ulamog mana now, so that's a little bit scary. You can cast everything in your deck.
I do. I am going to... I'm going to float 2 colorless and add a green to it. So I'll have a colorless floating, and I'll cast this Sylvan Scrying. And I'm going to go get a Sanctum of Ugin. So I'm going to play that Sanctum of Ugin as my land for the turn. Okay. With the 1 floating, I'm going to add 5 and 6 more. And I'm going to go ahead and cast All Is Dust as just a removal spell for the Mantis Rider.
Well, unfortunately, my Mantis Rider does in fact have color, so I will have to sacrifice it.
R.I.P. With that, I will pass the turn.
I will untap. During my upkeep, I have a Vial trigger. I would like to choose to put a counter on that Vial.
Yeah.
I'll then draw. Not the card I was hoping to draw. I will play Cavern of Souls on human.
Mm-hmm.
And I will pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap. And I will draw.
Now, you may want to consider using your turn to activate that Blast Zone to destroy my Aether Vial. It's pretty good card, I heard.
Super threatening. I don't think that's the route I'd like to take, though. What I would like to do is spend 1 of the 2 mana on a Chromatic Star.
Okay.
And then immediately sacrifice it for a green to draw a card. Okay. Using that 1 and 3 more, I would like to cast Karn the Great Creator.
That happens.
Okay.
That's another way to deal with my Vial.
Yes, it certainly is. I think that I would like to -2 Karn.
Okay.
So I will tick him down to 3.
What are we going to find?
I believe we are going to find, as a precaution, a Walking Ballista.
Okay.
So I'll get that, and it will go into my hand. I will then... just because I want to keep you honest, I will play yet a 3rd Oblivion Stone.
You've got a 3rd Oblivion Stone.
And I will pass the turn.
This feels like the end for me, but we'll see what this top deck has in store. Even though the Vial doesn't really do anything, I'll go ahead and bump it up to 2.
You got it.
Unfortunately, Walking Ballista is a creature.
Mm-hmm.
So this top deck Kitesail Freebooter will let me see all the cards in your hand.
I do have a Walking Ballista.
We have Walking Ballista and nothing else.
And nothing else.
So I cannot take it.
Agreed.
I have a Thalia Lieutenant.
Yep.
Where I could put a counter on my freebooter.
You sure can.
But I have no cards in hand. You have an Oblivion Stone on the battlefield and a Walking Ballista in hand. I have no really realistic way out of this, so I think the game is yours.
I agree with your assessment. Why don't we go to game 2?
We'll go to sideboard and get into game 2. Okay. Alright, so for the sideboard of this match, just real quick, I want to take out a couple of cards just so that I can bring in some good cards in this matchup. Aether Vials, while they are one of the best cards in the deck, I just don't really want to be stuck with Aether Vial Heavy Hand, especially because he has Karn the Great Creators in his deck. And if I'm not able to activate my Vials, they're basically useless and just kind of wasting a card in my hand. I'm also going to take out a couple of Reflector Mages, just because there's not a whole lot that I really want to cut here. Some of the cards are really good, and I need to keep some of my more aggressive threats in the deck. And he doesn't have quite as many creatures that I need to worry about bouncing, so I'm going to take those out. And to replace these cards, I'm basically just bringing in one Damping Sphere, which shuts down his deck, makes him play very fairly. I'm bringing in a Skyclave Apparition because it can deal with some of his various threats that gave me struggles last game, such as the Walking Ballista, the Karn the Great Creators, any of the Oblivion Stones, anything like that. Mm-hmm. I also have 2 Gaddock Teagues because he has so many big, expensive non-creature spells with CMC 4 or greater. It's going to not let him cast those. So that's the reasoning for this sideboard change.
So on my side, I'm trying to deal with aggressive threats more consistently, and I'm cutting some of the big, expensive ways to interact with other people's boards. Worldbreaker and Karn are great in this deck, not so great in aggressive matchups, just because they only deal with one thing, and if you have a wide board, that's not super for me. So I'd rather have a removal spell and Dismember, and then Thragtusk, which is effectively 2 bodies and also gains me 5 life to keep me in this game. So we're going to do it that way.
Alright, we'll go ahead and get into game 2. Alright, so for game 2, I will be on the play. So hopefully these 7 go a little bit better than the last 7 did. This hand is amazing, but the problem is there's no lands.
What a coincidence. I'm dealing with the same problem.
Alright, after a couple of no-landers, we'll see what the Magic Gods have in store for us today.
I'm already off to a better start.
Well, I do have the land in this hand. So I believe I'm going to keep my hand.
I'm going to do the same.
Alright, so going into game 2, not the best hand. I already did have to mulligan, so I don't really want to continue to go down to 5 cards or anything like that. So looking at this hand, I also have 3 lands similar to the previous game. Hopefully it goes a little bit better this time. But I have a Waterlogged Grove, as well as an Unclaimed Territory and an Ancient Ziggurat, so I'm not going to really run into any color issues with my mana here. I have a couple of 2-drops in a Kitesail Freebooter, which will help me to disrupt his hand a little bit. Maybe cut him off of Tron or take away some sort of payoff for Tron. I also have a Thalia, which is going to maybe slow him down by a turn or so. Sometimes that one little turn is just going to be kind of instrumental here. And then I had kind of a tough decision on what I wanted to put to the bottom. It was between 2 cards here. I had a Reflector Mage in my hand, as well as the Mantis Rider. And I kind of went back and forth on this decision. And I ultimately decided to put the Mantis Rider to the bottom because I didn't think a little bit of damage was going to help out in this game much. But in case he had some sort of creature that I really just needed to kind of get out of the way in order to get through for a little bit of more damage at the end, I decided to keep that Reflector Mage. Also keeping in mind that I only have 2 Reflector Mages left in the deck, and I still have 3 more Mantis Riders that I can draw.
All right, so this hand looks okay. I've got a tower and a mine. I've also got a forest, so I can cast the Sylvan Scrying in my hand. I have Ulamog, and I have an Oblivion Stone, so I have an early board wipe and a late game threat. It's not the greatest, but I'm going to keep it because I know how I get to Tron, and I'm going to put this extra tower on the bottom of my library.
Lead things off with an Ancient Ziggurat and pass the turn.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with an Urza's Mine
Okay.
and play this Chromatic Star.
All
And then
right.
I'll pass the turn.
Sounds good. Interesting. Interesting draw there. All right. I will play an unclaimed territory, and I will name humans.
Okay.
Given that Chromatic Star was the lead here, I have a couple of options. I think the safest here is to just start off with the Kitesail Freebooter and take a look and see what's going on with the hand.
Makes me sad. All right, so we do have another Tron land and a forest that you can't touch. We also have an Ulamog that you can't get, but we do have a Sylvan Scrying and we do have an Oblivion Stone.
I think we're going to take that Sylvan Scrying for now to make sure that you do not, get another Tron land next turn and have Tron assembled by turn 3.
Makes me sad.
And I will pass the turn.
Okay. Pick these up and draw for the turn. I'm going to go ahead and cycle this for green and draw a different card. Okay. Little slow, but I'll use that green to play this expedition map.
Okay.
And then I'll play Urza's Tower that we know about, and I'll pass the turn to you.
Really? You're going to top deck the card expedition map that allows you to go and get the land to cast all those big things in your hand? I just freebooted you, and you didn't have the ability to cast these. Now you can cast everything? Untap. Draw. I'll play Waterlogged Grove as my land for the turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just start out by attacking for 1.
I will take the 1.
And then, not really a whole lot we need to see from your hand here, so I'll just pay 2 mana and play Thalia.
Okay.
At least maybe slow you down just a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Makes
pass
sense.
the turn.
Okay. Untap and a draw. Well, we may as well sacrifice this to go get the last Tron land. Alright, so I'll play that power plant as my land for the turn. Unfortunately, I don't have a follow-up, so I'll just pass to you.
Alright. So you do have a couple of cards that I don't know about anymore, which might play into this following decision here. Especially because I do know you have a card that's going to make me sad. So let's start things off with a little 2 mana play. And Phantasmal Image
Okay.
will be another Kitesail Freebooter. So we get to take a look and see what the new hand has in store.
So the cards you already knew were the Forest, the Oblivion Stone, and the Ulamog. We have added to that 2 Planeswalkers. One of them is Karn the Great Creator, and one of them, sadly, is Ugin the Spirit Dragon.
Okay. Well, I don't like Karn the Great Creator, but unfortunately, I don't think I can afford to take that at this point in time, as Oblivion Stone will just kind of end the game for me. So we're just going to go ahead and scoop that one right up and take that away.
Okay.
And we will go to combat and attack for a Mighty 3.
Well, I will take that Mighty 3. I'm at 16.
And pass the turn.
If I could wish for anything, it would be literally any Tron land.
Well, I don't want to see that. Because that would mean that you get to play Ugin this turn.
It's true. It was almost a Tron land. I will pay 2 for an expedition map.
You got it.
I will pay yet another 2 to go get a second Urza's Tower.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to play that second tower as a land for turn. I'm going to spend 5 of this 6 mana to pay the premium from Thalia on a Karn the Great Creator.
You got it.
Karn will immediately go to my sideboard to find me a Walking Ballista.
Okay.
After that, however, I only have 1 mana, which is such a shame, so I'm going to have to pass to you.
Alrighty, and I think I'm in a little bit of trouble considering you've got Ulamog and Ugin in hand, and both of which are castable.
Yep.
So I think my best bet here is to attack Karn for 3 just to get that threat off the battlefield and attack you for 1.
Well, I'll take a mighty 1 and Karn goes bye-bye.
And then after that, I think I have to play Meddling Mage, which I just drew, and name the Ugin here so that you don't wipe my entire board.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I will pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap and draw for the turn. It's not a bad one. Well, I can't cast Ugin. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to play. I think this is the way I want to do it. I'm going to play a forest.
Yep.
And I'm going to cast this Walking Ballista for 5.
You got it.
So Austin's got a lot of different creatures in play, and I feel like this Walking Ballista is going to be a little more useful against that board than the Ulamog. Ulamog will take out 2 of the threats, but unfortunately 2 of them are flying, and Walking Ballista is going to take out 3, plus I can keep it around and put counters on it later to start removing more creatures. I think it's a better choice here. I will go ahead and remove 1 of the counters to kill the Phantasmal Image, because whenever it's targeted, it must be sacrificed.
It gets sacrificed, and you earn yourself an Oblivion Stone back to your hand.
I sure do. I will put it in my hand, and I will pass the turn.
I will play a land for the turn, and I will name humans.
Yep.
I will then pay 3 mana
Mm-hmm.
and attempt to cast General Kudro of Duraneth.
I would like to respond to that one.
Are you sure?
I'm sure I would.
Dang. I was hoping that you would forget to respond.
Well, General Kudro pumps your team, which means I would have to spend more counters to kill them. I don't like that.
So General Kudro is currently on the stack.
I will respond by removing 1 counter to shoot Thalia, Guardian of Thraben.
Thalia meets her end.
I will then remove 1 counter and then a counter again to kill Meddling Mage.
Meddling Mage will also meet their end.
Okay. General Kudro resolves.
Alright, when he enters the battlefield, I'm going to exile Karn just to be that guy.
Oh, the sadness. Goodbye, Karn.
I'll then attack for 2 in the air.
I take this mighty 2. I go to 13.
I have nothing else to do. I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I'll untap, and I will draw. I will spend 8 mana to cast the mighty Ugin the Spirit Dragon.
You got Ugin.
Ugin will then -3 down to 4 to attempt to exile all permanents with converted mana cost 3 or less that are 1 or more colors.
Unfortunately, my cards do have color. Again.
They certainly do. I will also get back this Sylvan Scrying.
You have re-earned your Sylvan Scrying.
With this 3 mana, I will spend 2 of it to cast Sylvan Scrying, and I will go get a Sanctum of Ugin.
You got it.
I will play the Sanctum. I have nothing to do with my floating mana, so I will go to combat.
Yep.
And attack you for 1.
I take 1.
And I will pass.
Untap. And Draw. And you still have that Ulamog, which is probably going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to lie. But I'll pay 3 mana, play a Reflector Mage, and attempt to bounce your Walking Ballista back to your hand.
It's going to happen.
Okay. You can't cast that next turn.
I sure can't.
I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I will draw for the turn. Ah, good. Well, I will play a land for the turn.
Do we have enough mana?
Oh, we certainly do. I'm going to pay 3, 6, 10.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, which will trigger my Sanctum of Ugin, which I will sacrifice to find another copy of Walking Ballista, just in case.
Just in case.
So when I cast Ulamog, I will target the 2 unclaimed territories to exile them.
They are exiled.
Okay. I will +2 Ugin to deal 3 damage to a Reflector Mage.
Reflector Mage also meets his end.
I will then, just as additional insurance and for the meme of it all, play out that Oblivion Stone.
You got it.
And I will pass the turn.
How many cards you got over there?
I got 4.
4, 2 Walking Ballistas?
2 Walking Ballistas and I believe 2 Unknowns.
Well, if the times are different, just because I can, I will take 1.
Mm-hmm.
I will play a Phantasmal Image, and it will be an Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger.
It certainly will.
Unfortunately, I'm not casting it as an Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger.
Which means it doesn't exile 2 permanents.
Because if I could, I'd probably actually win this game and be able to exile both of those.
And then I'd be in trouble. Agreed.
Yeah, but I think I'm dead because you just or you just activate, or I don't know, you're going to kill me. You just play your Walking Ballista.
Yeah.
Deal 1, this dies. Deal 3 to me and kill me or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. This game's over.
Well, thank you for the games.
Good games. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you've made it this far, I'm sure you at least somewhat enjoyed our video. And if you want to check out more content in the future, you can do that very easily by checking out a video here.
And we'd love it if you'd hit the subscribe button right over here and hit the notification bell so that you know when our new videos come out.
Thank you.